Hello, storytelling Ron. I'm going to do another video here. I'm actually trying to do a few less videos because I've been working really hard on the Kickstarter and getting that done. I'm very happy, getting things done. But I want to do a video on that. And that's another thing. I don't do scripts and edit, which I really should. And I'm thinking about it to, it's better for YouTube. I get it. Plenty of people just talk and ramble like I do, but they're better at it than I am. But some do the editing and all that, and I just don't do it because it takes time, and I want to spend the time working, all day on this stuff. So Christians in space, how can we Christians? And I've said this many times, but I'm going to say it again because I enjoy this. How can we have a Christians in space role-playing game setting? And obviously plenty of Christians are doing sci-fi, so don't get me wrong there. But the point of this is evangelism, planning churches, and getting you and me to be evangelists, to learn evangelism, to have it in our mind, and also to want to delve into church history, which I have a Dark Ages setting, which is church history setting. But I'm going to talk about the Christians of Space one because we all love Warhammer 40K, Terminator, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek, Theron. Oh, what's that one? Saren. I can't. I don't have things at the tip of my head anymore. Oh gosh, the one that I really enjoyed. I only had the one season. Oh my gosh. Let me pause and serendipitous. What the heck? Okay, Firefly. Whew, man, Firefly. Okay, so all those shows, and I really like Star Wars. I'm going to focus on Star Wars, but I'm talking about all of them, and even Warhammer 40K. They really get like a sense of, this expansive story. The Expanse is pretty good too. They get a sense of story and wonderment. And I have all the Star Wars RPGs from the recent ones and with the dice pools. And, just looking at them, I get like very, like heroin, an addiction or something. And I'm like, you know what? I want to get that sense from my Christian sci-fi, from our evangelist sci-fi. I don't want it to be about like something weird and esoteric like angels and demons in space or something strange. I want it to be boots on the ground, Christian evangelism, role-playing game. But I don't want it to be like Bible verses or you study stuff or it's a lesson. I want it to just be an adventure and you're going out adventuring. And, I have a crew now playing on when I put it on YouTube because I am not just the designer of this. I am also a client of this game. And I'm a GM of 45 years. And, I started when you could buy the Monster Manual and Advanced Dungeons and Dragons in the bookstore. And I stuck with that one and then, and then moved on to MERP and Role Master and all that. But anyway, and I was very young when I started. And I read all these books as a kid, because we didn't have Fortnite or any of that, we had Atari and Odyssey, which is the one I had. But anyway, Christians in Space. So this game, here's the rule book for the Christians in Space. It is 96, 97 pages. It has the basics of here's the damage, for a sword is D6. It has the basic damage of a regular. Here's the salvage guide. Here's the vessels, different types of vessels, and this is the GM screen reference pages for the game. And here I want to go over this real quick. A Christian RPG, and this is I suggest for any of you who are doing Christian RPGs. No need to play God or Jesus or the Holy Spirit. No need to have angels intercede. I mean, you can have the angels. I say no need to, but you can. But I would not make it as an essential part of the story. It is all about the player as a missionary trying to serve the Lord. Now, granted, in the New Testament, angels interceded. Even in the New Testament, with Paul getting freed from the prison. So you can certainly, there is game mechanics, a little bit of that in the game. The nun has a blessing called I See an Angel. So she could faint, and then whatever faith points she has left can be used for duration, a holy sword, and damage, or she could forgo that and ask for something else that the angel could do, like put fear into all the unbelievers and have them run away or open up the prison cell or whatever. It's all about the player as a missionary trying to serve the Lord. No need to reconceptualize God's will or the Bible. No need to like try to fit the Bible into some genre. Just forget it. Christians, evangelism, boom, this, okay? And I'm giving you this timeline from the Dark Ages to 2500 AD, so that you could create any genre. And I, even Dark Ages to me is fantasy. Like you'll hit on all the fantasy that you want if you want to. You can push it. And I would say, in the Dark Ages ones, I do push like that. All the there aren't like orcs and goblins and stuff like that. But you can have orcs and goblins as degenerate humans, or humans who have gone feral, or humans who have gone demonic possessed, that sort of a thing. The reason in the Dark Ages I wanted it to cling to old European history and Christendom, so that when you play, you can kind of get, especially with your kids, you can get them a sense of history that they can go back and delve into. And I am not afraid of looking into what atheists and pagans do, because it's pathetic. It's pathetic. It's creepy. It's ridiculous. If you actually let them see what pagans do, they're going to realize how ridiculous it is, but only in the light of the Lord, like in the light of being a Christian. Like I used to delve into it before when I was not a Christian. I mean, I was raised Catholic, but I was not a Christian, and I was all into it like art wise, but whatever. But you should let them know what the pagans are up to, but in this light, in this way, with a role-playing game like this, or so they can just see how pathetic it is. And you play those pagans as a GM, you as a dad or whatever, or leader of the fellowship or group or whatever. No need to wonder if one is doing God's will. Okay, no need to wonder if one is. So, God is going to succeed at whatever He wants. God is sovereign. Okay, I'm a Calvinist or whatever. I don't even know what the right term is. Reformed Baptist. I believe in the elect. God is sovereign. No asterisk. Okay, many Christians are. God is sovereign. Asterisk. That's my little trademark phrase. Whatever. God is sovereign. No asterisk. Okay, so He chooses who's saved, who isn't. That's right. It's called the chosen. And there's no need to wonder if you're doing God's will or not. The reason is, He doesn't need us to do His will. Okay, He's going to do whatever He wants. The whole commission by Jesus, and this is my contention or whatever. The whole contention of this is that Jesus is giving us the commission not because He needs us to do it, but because He knows if we're going to do something, go ahead and do this. Like He's giving us something to do because we love Him. So no need to wonder if one is doing God's will. You just go out and do it. Okay. For the Lord, whatever you're doing, foolishly or really smart, stupidly, or the Holy Spirit wanted me to do this. I don't fall for that really when people, even hardcore Christians, say that, or God told me to do this. I really don't. God doesn't need to tell you anything. Just do it. If you're doing something, fine, go for it. Hopefully, you'll help people. Not that God needs it, but we're doing this for each other because we love the Lord. Period. Whatever it is that we're doing. Me doing the For the Lord RPG. I'm doing this because I love the Lord. Don't know if He wants me to do this or not. Not really sure, but I'm doing it. Maybe He doesn't want me to do this, No need to debate. I mean, it seems like He probably doesn't want me to do this but I'm going to do this because this is what I love doing. No need to debate or argue theology with professing Christians. So there's no need to be perfect in this game. There's no need to do perfect theology in this game. It's really just about the mindset of us creating a mindset of evangelism. Again, we don't have that in the culture today. And I think the reason we don't have it is because we're trying to get all one up on each other on theology and trying to be perfect theologist or whatever and play this silly game. And I really just not into it. I want some basics. I don't have them in here and I should. Oh, that's probably something I need to add is the basic things that you as a Christian should have in this rule book. That I'm going to add to this. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but I do need. Let me write that down. I actually thank you, video YouTube thing. I actually figure things out. What's that called? I don't know what it's called. It's called the basic beliefs, and they're going to be very basic. They should be like creation science is one. The Trinity, Jesus is God. Some of those basics. I'm not going to go into the theological arguments between Protestants, Catholics, and and Orthodox. I really kind of want all three to use this game for evangelism. I'd rather have us win the world and then start debating each other than for us to continually debate each other, and just be distracted by that. And as far as Catholics go, there's a lot of great history there that I want to incorporate into settings, especially the conquistadors and the witch trials and the 14th, 15th century Gothic stuff that I'm planning on doing. They're going to be very demonic and very witchy, which I want to do next. Okay, the entirety and complete instructions for how we should role play is the New Testament. So if you read it, and especially the Paul's journeys, the Paul's letters, after Acts and stuff, it's really, that's kind of it. I mean, we're going to add more adventure to it. Obviously, we're going to add more fighting and shooting and lasers and whatever else. But it's really just about going out and interacting with people and trying to plant churches. And then getting those churches to work, and even going back and forth to churches. Like the game I have right now, the players are getting frustrated, but in a good way, because they have to go back and help the church, or they have to crawl back to the church because they got beat in the space combat, and they're just like, oh, we want to go out and plant a church or go explore. And I'm like, I know, I want you to too, but you keep messing up. But they're about to on episode 34. They're finally going to go out again, and of course, one of the players is going to miss because this kid's got a talent show, but. It's been great. There are 33 missions so far, and they have not yet planted a church. Now, they've evangelized and converted a few folks. They've converted some decanoids, which are crushed crabmen, and then they've converted a space witch who was using drugs to make everyone evil and slaves and stuff. All right, mission and church planning. That's it. So that's how the players should be doing. They should be doing. And I contend contentiously that you all should be doing this in your own or D&D. Maybe that'll upset players. Well, it's time. It's time, Christians, to upset players. It's time to be kicked out of these groups and start Christian groups and fellowships. I don't care if you want to do 5e or whatever. I argue against it, but whatever. It's time to be Christian, bold all the time, and joyfully. And this is joyful. It's fun. Now I have like 3 campaigns going. I had 0. I lost everything because I didn't want to play 5e anymore. Didn't want to do this woke stuff anymore. I had to create a game. I had to see if it even would work. I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on trying to get this thing out there and trying to get this thing, and I failed miserably. I don't care. I'm still working on it. I'm still doing it. I hired actors. I play tested with the actors. These are people that had no clue about. Most of them didn't have no clue what an RPG was. And all had a great time. None of them, of course, now that I'm not paying them, they're not coming back. But that's okay. That's acting. They got to hustle. All aspects of prayer, blessings, casting lots, rolling dice matters not if Christians succeed or fail. So a lot of times I've had Christians like, well, if we're doing God's work and it's silly and not real, and I'm like, so do nothing? Is that the option? I would rather. This is supposed to be a big T. There we go. I think it's a little T. Anyway, sorry. I would rather you be an idiot and fail than do nothing, or you're so above it all that you're not willing to expose yourself as an idiot or fool like me. Do it. Do something for the Lord. Stop hiding behind or going along to get along with pagans, because we've got children being butchered and surgical, and we've gotten children being murdered all the time now, and it has become so powerful it'll change elections. What are we Christians doing? What the heck are we doing? I want to say the bad one because it's very annoying, and I'm new at this, so I'm part of that problem. I'm part of the problem, and what I know is the RPG culture. I mean, sort of, but so that's where I'm taking up my cross. And okay, what matters is that we take up the cross, we strive for the Lord. Even if we're an idiot, even if we're fools, keep striving for the Lord. Mission, evangelism, rebuking, getting believers to repent, and fellowship, planning a church is all that matters. So striving for the Lord is joyful. It's easy. It's not a burden. It's fun. I'm showing you a way to do it. That's fun. If you're so afraid of losing everything because you say Jesus Christ is your Lord, like in front of people, they're not the problem. You are. Jesus Christ is Lord. You need to be able to say that in front of the people that you're with. And they need to be able to say it with you. And then you need to build out from there. And that's what I'm doing. And that's what you should be doing. If you can't say Jesus Christ is Lord, Jesus Christ is King in front of the people you're with, you're the problem, not them. So change that. And I'm showing you a way to do it. Start a game of this. Start GMing this and getting out there. And it's very fun. Look, I'm going to show you. It's got an interesting dice system. It's D20, but going up in skills increases the die rank here. See this? From D4 to D6, D8, D10, D12. And you can go past D12, and I'll explain that here in a sec. But you do have a trait, which is an ability score. Your strength, it's right here, prowess, spirit, awareness, and that's all like, -2 to 4 plus 4 range. So you have D20 plus 4, whatever your prowess is or awareness for shooting. But then you can add skill ranks. And these skill ranks combine with everything else. Blessings, if someone, the cleric wants to bless you and give you a bonus to, and these are called die ranks. Or you could have high ground, or whatever the die ranks are, they all combine. And let's say you go beyond 5 to higher, right? So let's say you've got a skill, you're hardcore high level shooter, and you have 5 skill ranks just in your skills, right? And the cleric this is a desperate shot, so he's praying really hard. He's going to give you 5 ranks as well. Okay. And then you have been sitting there. So you have an aim, because if you don't move, you can add another 1 rank to the aim. And then you have the high ground. That's another rank. And then your gun is like awesome. You have an incredible sniper rifle. That's 3 ranks. No, let me go with 2, because I want to keep it under. So 5 for your skill, 5 from the blessing, and then 1 high ground, 1 for the gun, and 1 for the aim. So that's 13 ranks, 13 die ranks. Okay. Is that confusing to you? It's very easy though. You just divide it by 5, because every 5 is a D12. So if you divide it by 5, D12, then you get another D12. And then the third rank is a D8, because it's 13. So 5, that's the first 5 ranks, the second 5 ranks, and then the third is the D8. Okay. That's your dice pool. Those you roll together and you pick the highest. Okay, so that's called the dice pool, and that is added to your D20 plus your plus 4, let's say, awareness for shooting. See? And what's cool, what I love about this though, and I'm a GM and D&D guy and Rollmaster guy for years. What I love about this is, one, we get to use the D20 dice system, and when you have a pool like this, you keep the highest. So what it means is you can add 78 die ranks, right? Divided by 5, how many D12s is that, and all that, etc. What that means then is that you're not going to get 78, but anyway, you're going to get like 12, 15, 18 die ranks if you're high level in this. What it means is that you can keep going up and up and up. There's not a cap on levels or anything like that, but you can still fail, right? You can still get, if you get double 1s in here, that's a fumble. If you get double 7s, it explodes it, so you can have really high score, which is fun. But there's a couple little combos in there, but not too many for me. You can obviously, if you homebrew, you can do all kinds of like poker rules on the different dice combos for the dice pool, which is fine. But for me, I'm going to keep it two 7s or higher. Will give you like it's a critical. So if you don't have a critical on nat 20, two 1s though will be a fumble, but you could still succeed and then get a fumble as well. So that's kind of fun. In these dice pools. And other than that, you only pick the highest. But if you do, here's another fun thing. If you roll a nat 1 on the D20 and you roll a 7 or higher on your dice here, you cancel the fumble. You still get whatever the result is, but you get to avoid that fumble because your skills have gotten so good that you can avoid a fumble like that. So the dice pool is fun. It's easy. It's great because you can continually add, especially in research and when they're doing engineering stuff. You're constantly adding your tools, your research, your tech scan, your laboratory, all these sort of bonuses, these die ranks to try to get a higher number. And what's neat about it is the players have gotten really big dice pools. They got 18 ranks. So 18 divided by 5 is 3d12 and a 3, right? remainder is a D8. So, they roll stuff like that, and they've still managed to fail or not get the high number that they're trying. And I'd give them a high number like 22 you got to beat a 22 to do something or whatever. So they would still fail, and that's been great. One guy, he was installing an upgrade to the ship's comm links, which is like the sensors and radio stuff. And so they got a freaking, magic item, which is a +3 die rank comm link add-on. So they're going to get 3 die ranks add-ons, and he needed to beat a 22. So they got everything together. They got his skill, his trait, his intellect, his, tools, workshop, got assistance from another guy, which is just a simple die rank. You could do they could delve into getting more, but just got some blessings. So you got like this whole dice pool. There's three dice, I think, 3d12s at least. And so he rolled a nat 1. No, we're freaking out. Like, oh my God, he's going to destroy the equipment. But he still hadn't rolled his dice pool yet. So he had 3d12. So I said, you know what, just roll that. You get a 7, cancels the fumble. You might fail and lose some of the supplies, to install it, but you don't destroy anything. So he rolled it. 3 d12s, all of them rolled below a 7. It was like a 4, 5, and a 4. And I'm all cracking up. He could have avoided the fumble with that dice pool, but he didn't, and it was hilarious. So he lost the gear, that plus comm link +3 die ranks that could have been added to their comm links whenever they did any electronic warfare. So that was devastating for them. And that was the second comm links add-on that I got offered, in the game that they damaged. They couldn't get it. The previous one, they couldn't remove it from the other ship because it was installed in a way that gave it really good cloaking. Okay. Anyway, that's how die ranks work. It's really, I hope I made that plain. But anyway, or hope that was understandable with my blabbing. But this is a basic infographic of the game. I'm just here. I made some pre-made characters for you. So if you want to just print these out and, give them to your kids or whatever to play, they got simple stuff. And you could simplify the game too, in the sense of like, just beat a 12, if you want to start off like that, beat a 12 on everything and then let them roll. And then, once they get familiar with, they can add their prowess. And if they get some die ranks, they can, add that as well. And you can limit it to the first 5 die ranks too, if you want and it takes them a little while to get up there anyway, up higher anyway. So, and you could teach them the dice pool slowly, because initially they'll have like 1 die rank skill. The person will bless them with 1 or 2 die ranks. You might give them a high ground, 4 die, whatever. But you got ships in here. I want to explain the planets and the aliens. So the aliens are not aliens. They're actually humanoids. Okay. So you have humans, and it's all genetically modified Earth creatures. Okay. So the atheists went off into space. They terraformed all the planets, or as many as they could, and the terraforming is all different levels of success, right? So this one is a frozen planet, still a frozen planet, but they got floating platforms on the up above, and then they can go down and mine, and then bring them back up to the platforms. It's just something like whatever. It's a gravitational anomaly that they can float there with a little bit of hovering, but. And the togas are Jawas. I'm just kind of like doing like a sort of a low techy or techie type of diminutive type of human being, they were bred as slaves, genetically engineered to be slave tech workers. And all these are here's a robot, and then here's of course mutated crabby things, space crabbies. So all of these are created out on each planet from the atheist mad scientists who did that, and they went around terraforming. So, and here's the timeline, so you can understand the different genres that I'll be coming out with at some point. And it goes from the Dark Ages, 6th century, church history, 7th to 21st century, untold stories that need RPG campaigns and settings. Okay, the conquistadors. I'm going to be doing the the 14th century Gothic, and I'm going to be doing the African Squadron, which is the Royal Navy that ended the slave trade. I'm going to be making an awesome campaign about that. I mean, I have several books. I read one on it, and lots of YouTube videos on it, and it is dark. The voodoo, African voodoo, is butchery, fields of butchery. They discovered sacrifices, human sacrifices. It is dark, and for them to and this is a game. My this is a way to shoot back at, counterattack the woke ideology, the lies, like the 1619 Project. That is hilarious. 1619 Project reveals to us, here, you can read this too. I'll just paused it right there. You can read that. Let me see if I can. There's that. Let me see. There's that. Whatever. Just, so you can read it. Here. There. Pause so you can read it. Okay. The 1619 Project is oops, let me do this. It is hilarious because it is 1619 is when they claim slaves came to America, right? So that's the real history of America, whatever. Before 1900, we freaking ended it. We fought, the white colonists. 1619, whatever, the Portuguese too, or 100 years before, but whatever. It was ended. It was ended within a few hundred years. We said, we can't take this. But guess when the slavery of blacks started for blacks in Africa and the Middle East and Arabs? Like 2000 BC? 2000 BC? And today in Libya, they're selling slaves. After Hillary Clinton got rid of Gaddafi, now there are slaves being sold in Africa today. And there are slaves across the Middle East. And there are many who are being subjugated, not by white people, not by white colonists, but by browns, blacks, Asians today. Hasn't even ended. But let's just say, for the sake of this little history thing here, the slave trade was ended by white colonists. And they're not going to, that's the pathetic lie of the Democrats, the evil projection and bearing false witness of Democrats and their minions in the academic world, getting frothing up, riling up and frothing the willfully ignorant Marxist students following this crap, because we ended it. We ended slavery. We ended it in versus the African slave trade and Middle East slave trade. And it was brutal and horrifying. And they barely had any tools. They were weak too. And no one else helped them too. The British Royal Navy did it. And we ended it here in America with a war. We fought freaking Democrats. They're trying to cancel all these founding fathers. But they're not going to cancel the Democrats, because they're the ones that freaking forced the slavery on us. And when Thomas Jefferson tried to end it in the Declaration of Independence, they said, no way, we won't even fight for our freedom and independence if you don't take out that anti-slavery stuff in the Declaration of Independence. That is a known fact in history, that we did try to end it in 1776 when we did the Declaration of Independence. But the Democrats would not let us. And now they blame us. That's how evil works. Here, just logically, would evil ever apologize for evil? The evil that they do? Would evil ever apologize for the evil they do? No, of course not. They will blame the good for their evil. They will blame the good. That is the logical definition of evil. Evil will never apologize for what they do. They will always blame someone else for what they have done. That's exactly what the Democrat Party is doing. They are blaming Republicans and whites and anyone else for slavery and the evils, the 1/5 vote of the blacks, representation, the 12 years Fugitive Slave Act. It's great. It's amazing. Oh, we had a party switch. Yeah, we had a party switch. So the evil Republicans are going to enslave all of you. They're enslaving us right now with all this government Marxist crap. Marxism is slavery. Don't get me started. Anyway, let's go back to the game. Okay. So here's the map of the galaxy. In the atheists, they have erased the solar system as a viable star system. So everyone here ignores the solar system. It's actually erased from because when the atheists first left, they nuked it. It's in the timeline there, and then said it was a dead system. So no one goes there. They all go. They all know about everything else. So the empire is down here. The remnants are like the rebellion or whatever, scattered. Whatever. The killer bot stations and the mechanics are are Terminators basically. The Biodreads are like Zergs and Tyranids, and those were created by the atheist mad scientists. And they're all flourishing in space. Mutant Marauders are kind of like Biodreads. They're humanoid, but they're cyborgy and crazy, like in Firefly. Those kind of fanatic drugs and paganism and all that craziness. Everyone's pagan, but they're all messed up in different ways. And the Empire, of course, is a very, like an empire. But this is like the basic galactic map of this area. And there's plenty to do. Every planet, like they're at Bernard Star right now. That's the starting of the campaign. And there are plenty of things to do on one planet. And they're going into the Wolf system, 10-6, and that has a Raptorine. It has I'll show you here. Let me go to it. But also something I do, I don't just do artwork to do artwork to make it look cool. Every piece of artwork is usable in the game because I'm a GM. I don't really, it's cool to have neat artwork, but it's useless. I can't do anything with it. So that's why I've decided to draw out my own, drawings of the characters. I have much more control, and I chose this sort of doodly cartoon look because it's manageable. I can spend a day and draw 20 characters, 20 little tokens that you can use. And these are all available as printables and digital tokens. And the maps, I found Space Engine on Steam, which I really like because I like that it had. I was looking for a galactic resource, and that has it. And I bought the Pro version so I can use the maps. So using Space Engine Pro, and that's pretty fun. And I'm using these are the planet terrains, and I may not use them all for everyone, but for right now I really enjoy doing it. And all of these are map pieces that you can rearrange any way you want, and use them all. To make your own dungeons and space stations and settlements, and there's a bigger corporate space station. And all of these I've done in Foundry, using this artwork that I've created. And I made the terrain maps all black and white because one, it's easy to print out if you want to do printables. That'd be a lot easier, because you're gonna print out a bunch of these. And each of these is 8.5 by 11. Like I've limited my scale to 8.5 by 11. Well, some of these will be like 4 8.5 by 11s, and then you put them together with some of the bigger buildings if you want. But again, you don't have to use these. You can use whatever you want. The scale of stuff is not that important to me. It's just short, medium, and long, whatever you want to do. And I don't even do like range modifiers. They're optional. They're in there, but I kind of just whatever. If something is far away, I'll say, I'm going to take a die rank difficulty on that. Oh, so another way using die ranks, use die ranks to give them their skills and blessings and bonuses. But I, as a GM, can also use the die ranks. I can add a couple to my side and roll them, and then add it to the defense of the character, the NPC or target that they're trying to shoot. So if I say that they're at really far range, I'll say that's 2 die ranks. So I will take that. My creature has a cover, or my Star Trooper has cover, or it wouldn't be Star Troopers wouldn't really get cover. Well, they would. Pirate. Let's say my space pirate takes cover. He's far away, so the cover is 1 die rank. Maybe it's 2 because it's a super awesome crate or whatever. Or maybe he's in a tank or truck, armored truck, hover truck. Make it sci-fi. So let's say 2 die ranks for that and 2 die ranks for the range. That's 4 die ranks. So that's a D10. So I'd roll a D10 and then add it to the defense of the character of the villain, and then that's what they have to hit him with. That's what they have to beat to actually hit the guy. Let me go over real quick. Here, this is the character sheets. 2 different versions. You got the different traits here that are just like D&D. 6 traits. What is going on here? I'm just gonna move that little box up. Okay, so prowess. That's a new word. I want to thank somebody on YouTube brought that up, and I appreciate that. I forgot. I don't know who you are. I forgot. I think you're on my Discord. I used to have aggression, and to me, I always thought aggression because I do medieval armored combat, as you can see, and the fighters that are the most aggressive, generally to me, are the most have the innate talent. It's not skill, but just the innate ability to go around and wreak havoc are the aggressive ones. But prowess is a little more of a noble term than aggressive because aggressive has a very negative connotation, which I think is really I feel like aggression is still the right term, but prowess kind of makes sense too. It's more of a skill using your physical attributes. Awareness prowess is for fighting and for your vitality, which is your hit points. Awareness is just like is your being aware to shoot, to dodge. The whole strength and dexterity to me is kind of silly now that now that I'm actually doing medieval combat. It's not strength and dexterity that makes you a better fighter or better at dodging or anything, because think of a gymnast. A gymnast has the greatest dexterity, but I could probably easily hit them because they just wouldn't know how to dodge. They wouldn't know how to, they have the situational awareness to understand avoiding being hit by a weapon. This is the silly example, but it's awareness. It's your awareness. Like I've seen fat guys out on the never get hit, or avoid getting dangerously hit, because they're just very aware of what's going on. The situational awareness is what's important. Anyway, my point being, it's your prowess and awareness. Savvy is technical generally, like criminal or, like picking locks, and acclimating yourself to anything technical that you like plumbers and guys that just do IT and know how to fix things, and handymen. That's their savvy. Spirit is your wisdom, like a cleric, but your perseverance. You're able to handle pain, but also your faith, and it gives you your faith points. You spend faith points to do blessings. Okay. Intellect is, crafting, history, academics, science. Social is obviously, it could be acting, you could be a bard, or it could be for speeches, whatever you want. And skills. Where's the skills list? Well, there is a skills list here, but it is completely optional. You can make up your own skills, but this is just suggestions. As it says here, skill suggestions. You can come up with any skill you want, and you basically just buy die ranks in it. I want to start, scrap usage. Okay, I don't even know why I put that one there, but whatever. Scrap usage. Okay, and actually, that if you do roll that, actually, you can turn scrap into low tech and supplies. Like you turn it into low tech. You can, putting scrap together, you can start building low tech supplies, and low tech you use for repairs and stuff. You can use scrap for repairs too, but I will require, if you want to repair your weapon, you're going to need 2 low tech and 1 high tech. So I have specific supplies that you need to do things. And so someone could say, well, I need to make some low tech so they could have a scrap usage. And so you buy every time you get a glory point, which is like experience points, you can go up a rank, or one rank is 1 glory point, 2 is 2 glory points, 3. So it gets more expensive. 3 is 3, 4 is 4, 5 is, so if you have 7 die ranks in scrap usage and you want to go to the 8, it costs you 8 glory points. So see, it gets more expensive as you go up. But for me as a GM, it doesn't matter if you have 8, because you're still going to roll it in a dice pool and you're going to keep the highest. And so that number doesn't get out of hand. Okay. In traits, I limit it to +5 because you can go higher than 5. But like in reality, if you go to +6, you have to take 1 trait off of something else. Think about that. Like say you're a muscle guy, you're a bodybuilder, and you're like built in and you're focusing on just being a massive bodybuilder. You're going to get dumber, or whatever it is. You're going to lose some social skills, or you're going to lose, something. Savvy is going to go down 1 because your focus, you have to focus on it and maintain it to be up that high that you're going to lose on, you're going to have to just subtract from another trait. And that's up to you to decide if you want to do that or not. But that's the way I'm doing it. Now, here's the thing though. Let's say you go up from 5 to 6 on prowess. By the way, that's 11 glory points. 5 for the old one and 6 for the new one. It's 11 glory points. So that's expensive. But you may -1 on savvy. Okay. So your savvy is now down to say from 2 to 1. You only got 1 now on savvy. Fine. Next round, you could increase that savvy from 1 to 2. That's fine. You can do that. And your prowess is still 6. But, so you can do that, but it just gets more and more expensive as you do it, And I think at that point in the game, you're going to be like, oh, I need to spend glory points on other things, So it's fun. There's no limit to the levels for your character. Obviously, I want to hopefully kill you before you feel like you have a limit, And I got everything kind of laid out really simply, although there's a lot because it's sci-fi. You got weapons, starting supplies. This is how you break down a starting supplies. So these are important in the game, to have these and to get these and to find them in the salvage. When you search around, I have a chart for that. And gears, obviously, and fuel cells are really important. Combat is 2 pages. And so I try to make everything a spread like this. So as a GM, so it's easy for you to get to that. And then I really try to get into the die ranks and explain it again with the dice pools and the die ranks and the die rank result, which is whatever you roll above that number is your die rank result, which then you have that, and that becomes your die ranks, and that then you can use that for whatever, or you can turn it, or it becomes a dice pool for something else. Like a really good example is piloting. Or let me do comm links, because that actually comes first. I should probably put that in front. So in a combat, or even when a character is just scanning an area, they could do comm links, right? And let's say they roll super high. They roll a 22. I'm going to say, just to keep this simple. And I tell them that what they need to roll is a 12, just to keep it simple. Oop, did I do anything wrong there? No. Okay. So they rolled a 22 in their comm links, with all their die ranks and their dice pool, and they had to beat a 12, and so they got 10 over the 12. That's their die rank result, or it will be, I guess. So the player succeeds, right? They succeed at their comm links and scanning. Let's say what they're doing is they're trying to scan a cave system, okay, or whatever. No, that's not. They're scanning these robots are attacking them. Okay, security robots. So they're scanning the robots and the network and the security system that's got these robots coming after them. That's the better way. Okay. Now the cave system is also possible, but they would have to have a certain, like a geo scanner or something. Anyway, so you subtract the 12 and it's 10. Half that is 5. They got 5 die ranks. 5 die ranks. Well, what do they do with the 5 die ranks? Well, they could give it to their shooters. They could penalize the robots. They could, give it to their shooters in the sense of defense or targeting. Like, here's a mark, here's a mark, here's a mark. Using the comm links, they send it to each player. And everyone has like a comm locator, like an interface that they can. So that's fine with me. It's very basic stuff. So they could add, they could literally give each of their other players 2 die ranks for you, 2 dice for you, 1 die rank for you for shooting. Or, I'm going to use it against the robots and confuse them. Okay. I will roll the 5 die ranks and to penalize the robots, or rather, I would give it to each player. They could use a certain amount. Well, he would have to spread it amongst them, so they would get it to add it to their defense. So when the robot tries to target them, that would be a problem for them. So you can't blanket spread it among them. It has to give to each one individually. Kind of a thing. Although sometimes I think I have blanket spread it amongst them. Whatever, The gist of it is not to do that, but if you do it and you forget, or because I think I have, it's whatever. It's not a big deal. It's a game. Have fun. So that's kind of how you do that. You try to get above the 12 or whatever the opposing roll is, like 22 or whatever. If I could put a high roll. I could have die ranks that I add to my opposing roll from the 12 and make it a 22, and make it really hard for them to get above that to get die ranks. Same with crafting and engineering. That same thing works with this die rank resulting. So they've got rules for that, and here's rules for the faith and damage and stuff and dying. Okay, there's more here. There's ships, crusaders, spaceship stuff. Okay. Let me go to, I'm working on this now, the Edge Sector, the Galactic Manual Guide. I think that's how I'm going to term it. I'm not sure yet. Galactic Manual Guide, the Edge Sector. Intro campaign info. So this is, there's a star system or solar system here. And then this section, the Edge Sector, is these 4 star systems. Well, not Stein, actually. Do I have Stein in there? I might have Stein in there. I don't remember. But it's a double star system, so there's no planets. You know what's there? Killer bots. Okay, the dread bots. So these 3 at least star systems are in this section. I wonder if that one's. I don't think that one's there. Okay, I didn't do Stein. That's just kind of funny. I wonder if I should do Stein because I have them. Well, whatever. All right. So what this has. Yeah. See. We can have biotech humanoid diversity. We can have crazy humanoids of different reptilians, sharkmen, whatever. It's all genetically modified. Okay, not aliens. I don't believe in aliens. I believe God made the earth for us, and the entire galaxy is for His glory. To show how amazing He is. But I'm showing you guys as Christians that we are not limited. Actually, this makes way more sense than Star Wars or Star Trek with their different aliens on different planets all evolving at the same freaking time and having the same same everything. That's ridiculous. So this is makes way more sense. And here's the Empire. We got Imperial Star, and this is like low level Empire, like Imperial agents, Imperial Star Troopers, Imperial armored dropship, Imperial hired guns. This could be like the beginning, like Empire, against the Empire campaign. And they are atheists, they are secular, they are Marxists, they're communists, they're a dictatorship, and they're out to, and these are all the different Imperial sections. And yes, I have the Dominators. The Dominators have shock troopers and power troopers, and they are cyborgy, scary, dark lords who have extra powers. And at some point I will introduce them. Hopefully the character will survive. And here's an Imperial Corvette. See, it's a battle map, so you could literally attack them and run around in here just like a dungeon and fight the weak. This is the weak field agents, right? They will have secret Imperial agents that look like criminals. This could be a criminal token, or a rogue, or it could be an Imperial secret agent kind of. You can use it for whatever. And I set up that everything with a map, right? I want maps. I am a GM. I want maps. I don't want artwork. I want maps. I want to know what's what. I want usable maps, and I want maps where I can create my own stuff too. And that's why I did this. So this is a Red Cult floating platform. This is a space mine with your creatures, and you can create your own version of this. I keep it simple right here, so you could go in and delve and start up your own little setups and create. And here's another thing that's really what I like about the die ranks. I'm just gonna zoom in on this. What I like about the die ranks, so it's kind of blurry. What I like about the die ranks is that when they go into the water, I can say, "Ooh, the water is toxic, sludgy." Very freezing. So 3 die ranks difficulty, and then I'll roll a d8. Let's say I roll a 4. 4 added to 12 is a 16. You need to beat a 16 to get through this sludgy water and not have any problems with your gear or falling into it or whatever. So that's how simple I do it. If there's a trap, you didn't see the trap. It's well made. You're gonna drop. Well, that doesn't. So well made trap, whatever. 2 die ranks, D6. I roll a D6, I roll a 3, add it to the 12, it's a 15. You have, you got to beat a 15 to avoid the trap as it, triggers. And, put this down here. Triggers and, so I use die ranks as a GM very like that in a simple way. Okay, here, see this right here? They're gonna, this is an air vent. They're going to crawl down the air vent, down this ladder. Okay, the ladder is freezing. It's frozen, dark, and that's it. Just those 2. So that's 2 die ranks. So that's a D6. So I roll a D6 and add that to a 12, and let's say I roll a 3. So it's a 15. So they got to beat a 15 to safely go down. Now, if they fail, I'm not going to have them fall unless they roll nat 1. If they fail, I'll just use the 2 die ranks there and roll a D6, and that's their drain of vitality. Like they tire themselves out. Or if they roll really low, but not a nat 1, maybe they scrape up their armor. I'll say you have a 1 die rank wear and tear to your armor. I'll do something simple like that. So I can throw around die ranks all over the place and make it really simple, and it's very digestible for them and me to do it that way. I like that. So I like die ranks. They're just a simple way of of making throwing die ranks around for good things, bad things, wear and tear, hurting, draining their vitality. Their vitality is like hit points, but it's also exhaustion. They can get grievous wounds, which is a nat 20, or nat 20. If ever a nat 20 appears, and they can get a grievous wound, and a grievous wound is like you're at -3 DR, because of this devastating wound. So -3 die ranks to every roll. So every time they roll, and I implement that whenever I remember to, right? And usually it's on my end. So if they're like, they're wounded, they have a grievous wound of -3 DR, and they're going to shoot this blood worm, this worm here, I will roll 3 DR, which is a D8, and add it to this is defense, because they're having a hard time hitting it because they're wounded, they're in pain, and that wound does not heal up just by resting like the vitality does. Vitality, I play it like 5e, where you can rest up and it'll return pretty quickly because it's just cuts and bruises and exhaustion. But the grievous wound, you have to go get some, you have to get surgery, healing, The blessing heal, not the blessing heal, the blessing grievous wound heal, the miracle of healing. The miracle of healing will hopefully get rid of that pain or that wound. So again, using really the same pieces, I can create, and you can create as many minds as you want on the planet of Plasma if they want to go dungeon crawling. And I limit it to the size of the Foundry map, just a one level kind of thing. Because that's enough. Takes them 2 or 3 episodes to get through some of these. And here's a space station. And you can make any kind of space station you want. I got all kinds of props in there for it as well. Fun stuff. All the different little tokens there that are available. And this is for Christians. Fellowshipping, having fun, and also evangelizing. You got your Terminators, which are called Dreadbots, and they're BrainBot here. So I'm hitting all the like Doom stuff, all the zombie stuff. They're one of the spaceships. See, reptilians on Raptorine, on a deserty planet with all the pipes. Here's the style. So you got pipes and settlements that they can go to and evangelize that. I'm still working on this part. Okay, so I just want to go through. There's you got creatures. You got all kinds of genetically modified creatures. The giant tentacles, obviously, you can reuse creatures in different areas too. That's what I'm doing here. This is the Temple of the Dominator or Watchguard. So this is going to be a rare hidden citadel on the planet that was once used by a Dominator. And we got water planets. I've created different assets for them. There's some cool, fun storylines going on with that. Different creatures and decanoids there. Okay, spaceships and all that. These are boat ships that they can use. Barge boat, So I'm really creating this world that you can go and explore. Everything here is usable. It's not just to look cool. And it's all accessible. So I just wanted to go through that again, just to get across to you Christians that that do RPGs that we need to... it's time. It's time to stop going along to get along and becoming and playing as a pagan and doing what pagans say and comporting to their will, comporting to their pronouns, and they're LGBTQ friendly. It's not friendly. It's very oppressive. And there's no freedom there. There's no freedom for your children. They want your children to be trans and gay. They want them to go to they want to force them to go to their schools. Force them to go to their conventions. You cannot have Christians. It's all forced, not being allowed. Taking away your livelihood is taking away your life, and that's what they want to do. And we got to start pushing back so that they don't do that, and that they allow us to be present in all these markets and public forums, because that's freedom. That's what freedom is. And they have to tolerate us. And right now they have the power to basically not tolerate us and to use their woke canceling to try to destroy us in any way they can. And I'm trying to use as much extreme language to get the point across, because it is what it is. Livelihood has the word life in it. And when they want to take away your livelihood, they want to take away your life. We, as Christians, want to convert them to the truth and freedom and Jesus Christ. And we need to start doing that. And you need to start doing that. And you need to start understanding that it's not evil. It is good. It is for good. It is joyful. Good is joyful. It's fun. And it's time. So you should realize that it is joyful. You should not be fretting this. You should be joyful in the word, in the Lord, all the time. Now, if I don't mean go out to Chili's or some restaurant and start evangelizing. You're gonna, God knows you and I need breaks and do silly, dumb things that are not evangelism. But role playing to me is very particular because you're actively using your mind, you're actively using storytelling, you're actively using your persona. Sitting around watching silly shows is not. I don't expect you to watch Christian shows all the time but I don't expect you to do that because I'm not good. But anyway. You can dumb down yourself and go out and not evangelize everywhere. That's not the point. The point is, do it. Whatever it is, and have it be part of your life somehow. Okay. All right. Ooh, I got to get to work. Okay. And in the game of life, Roll holy dice. It's a wonderful thing.